The power in Indiana starts in your neighborhood. Today, we're going to talk about two entry-level roles that allow you to hold your party accountable: precinct committee persons and state convention delegates. We're going to talk about what those roles mean and how you can become one. What is a state delegate, and can you be one too? This is a one-day commitment, taking part in shaping your party's platform and future. State delegates represent your neighbors at your party state convention. Each county gets a select amount of delegates, who are then elected during the May primary election. While you'll see a variety of roles and offices on your primary ballot, you won't see Secretary of State, State Treasurer, or State Comptroller because these offices are chosen directly by delegates at their party state convention. From there, each party's winner will be on the fall general election ballot. If you become a delegate for the Democratic Party, you'll attend state convention on Saturday, June 6th, and Republican delegates attend on Saturday, June 20th. There are events the day before, but those are all optional. At convention, you'll attend district meetings, explore various caucuses that make up the party, meet a variety of candidates, including the ones that you'll be voting on that day. You'll spend a day with like-minded people and picking up on each other's energy. But your biggest responsibilities are going to be casting your vote and wearing comfortable shoes. Trust me. Winners will be announced, and then you'll begin rallying around their campaigns. Next, we'll talk about precinct chairs, and then we'll get into the details on how to run with filing now open. Each county in Indiana is broken up into dozens of voting precincts, and each of those individual precincts can have a representative from both of the major political parties. They are known as the precinct chairs, or PCs. Think of them as the captain of your neighborhood. But don't worry, you won't be alone because every PC can appoint their own vice PC to help them manage responsibilities. This is a 4-year commitment, but the busiest times are typically leading up to elections where you can help with voter turnout initiatives and making sure people are registered to vote. Other responsibilities include introducing them to candidates. And I don't mean taking your candidate and dragging them door to door, but encouraging neighbors to meet you at events and meetings where they will have the opportunity to meet those candidates and participate in other activities. Outreach can also include mailing information, calling, or going door to door. How a PC interacts in Indy may look different in rural areas. And don't worry, you aren't responsible for every person in your neighborhood. You'll get a contact list of those determined to be like-minded, so you're really building that local civic engagement. Another important duty is if there's a vacancy in the public office or in party leadership. You'll gather, known as a caucus, with other PCs, and PCs are the only ones that have the power to vote on their replacement. This includes a caucus where every 4 years, each party reorganizes and PCs decide on that county party leadership. This is such a powerful role because county leadership then votes on district leadership and district votes on state. It truly is the highest impact role within your whole party. What if you're interested in being a PC and a state delegate? You can do both because they are political party roles. You can be on the ballot for these roles and still run for public office. You're likely to actually meet public office holders while performing duties of a PC or a delegate because our public officials know how important these roles are within their party. So now you're thinking, okay, Kelly, I'm sold. What do I need to do next? Those interested in running for a state delegate or PC must file to run. In even-numbered years, including 2026, parties will elect delegates and have a state convention. However, for precinct chairs, or PCs, in 2026, Democrats will be electing theirs, but Republicans won't elect theirs until 2028. In the meantime, you can be appointed as a PC, but more on that later. Let's get to the filing part. To run, you must have either a primary voting history or certification of the chair. Otherwise, your candidacy could be challenged. To be in good standing with the party, Republicans require that the last 2 primary elections that you have voted in, not necessarily the last 2 primaries that have been held, but the last 2 that you have voted in, that you have pulled a Republican ballot. The Democratic Party requires that in the last primary that you have voted in, so again, not necessarily the last primary, but the last primary that you have voted in, that you have pulled a Democratic ballot. Both parties do have a backup with the ability to issue A certificate of good standing. If you're unsure of your voting history, we can help you out with that. Other requirements include that you must reside within the county, be a registered voter. Once you check off those boxes, you will submit your filing by Friday, February 6th by noon. There are no extensions, there are no exceptions. Friday, February 6th by noon. And that means it has to be into your county clerk's office by then. Not postmarked, not any of that. It has to be in their hands and accepted by noon, Friday, February 6th. To officially run, you must file a CAN 37 form, and I'll link that for you at the end. I know it looks really official and it may ask some questions that you're unsure about, but that's why we're going to walk through this together so that we can get it done. You'll file this form at your local county clerk office or Board of Elections. Most of them are very helpful with you, so if you still have questions, just make sure to reach out and ask. If you're not sure where to go, just look up your county, Indiana, and county clerk or Board of Elections office and give them a call so that way you know their hours and exactly where you're going to go so that you have all the information you need before you head out the door. So I'm going to show you two different examples. Both have fictitious names and addresses, of course. So the first thing that we're going to do is check and make sure that you have the right form. So up in the top right, it says CAN 37. And then in the title, it's going to tell you that it's for the 2026 year. Each year they change up the forms a little bit, so it's always good to make sure you have the appropriate form. So the first thing you're going to do is fill in your county and your legal name. Next, it's going to ask you for your precinct and your township. If you're unsure about this information, it is listed in your voter portal at indianavoters.com. Again, I will link that at the end. You will then fill in your congressional district and check which party that you are running under. And then you're going to select if you're running for a PC or a state delegate. If you are planning to run for both, you will need to fill out two forms, one for each of the roles. If you're filing for a state delegate, it asks you up there if your county is an at-large or by district county. So I will include that information at the end, of course, but what that means is an at-large county means everyone in the county who pulls your party's ballot can vote for you. Districts are within the county that break up how many delegates can win in each district to kind of keep it even. And usually your counties that have a bigger population will be your by district counties. And only the voters in that district will see you on the ballot and be able to vote for you. This is information that your county party and your county clerk will also have. Next, you'll fill in your address where you're registered to vote at, and then you will see boxes, these 5 up here, and that is going to be how your name is displayed on the ballot. So in this example, we have sample candidate, and they go by Sam. So on the ballot, they want their name to be displayed as Sam candidate. So they have Sam in the first box and candidate in the second, because you want to make sure that you're only putting one name in each box. If you want to include your middle name or middle initial, it also needs to go in its own box. And make sure it's legible and exactly how you want it, because that's exactly how it's going to be displayed on the ballot. Here's an example of a PC filing by I Want a Candidate. I want to check to make sure that they have the right form and they filled in their information and checked their party and precinct committeeman. After putting in their address, they decided that they wanted to include their middle initial to display in the ballot. So they used 3 boxes, I wanna, B, and candidate for their last name. You may only put one name per box. Make sure it's legible. This is the back of the CAN 37 form. Do not do anything with this until you're with a notary. If you don't know a notary, that's okay. The county clerk's office will notarize your form for you and for free. All you need to do is bring your form and your ID. You know where to go. You know what needs to go on your form. So make sure you grab your ID and you have your forms in hand. Now that you know what you need, let's talk about where to find it. So there's a QR code at the top that will take you to the form, or you can get it on the MADVOTERS website under Candidate Resources. If you are unsure of your voting history, you can ask your county party to look it up for you, or you can ask at your county clerk's office or email me at Kelly, Kelly, at madvoters.org. Do you have questions about which township, precinct, or congressional district that you live in? You can get all of that information in your voter portal at indianavoters.com. You only need your name, date of birth, and county. It will also show you your voter registration status, so make sure that's active. Your county party and your county clerk's office can tell if your delegates are by district or at large, and information that I will add on to the end here. And if you run into any problems or still have any questions, please reach out so that we can help you problem solve. You are not in this alone. So speaking of, make sure that you let people know that you are running and encourage them to vote in the May primary so that they can vote for you. And maybe they want to run for something too. Here's just some other helpful information and tips. So earlier I mentioned PCs can be appointed by your county chair for either party. Appointed PCs serve at the discretion of their chair, so they can easily be removed by the chair. However, PCs that are elected have protections. So if you are a Republican who would like to be a PC, you can ask to be appointed until the 2028 primary election, when you will have the opportunity to become an elected PC. If you are running as a Democrat, you can ask to be appointed until the election. That could give you a preview of the role. And then you can ask your county party for a list of like-minded people in your precinct if they have any scripts or trainings available. If not, reach out and we will get you connected. If you are already appointed as a precinct chair, run to get elected in. It is so important. If you become an elected PC in 2026, you have until May 20th to appoint your own vice PC. Recently, the Democratic Party got rid of the gender role, so now anyone in your precinct can serve with you as your vice PC. Once you select your vice PC, email your county party to let them know in writing. If you do not appoint your own vice PC in writing by the deadline, you give that power back to your county chair. Sometimes you have to create your own opportunities to be a part of the decision-making process. Change doesn't happen at the top, it's built from the bottom up. If you don't run, someone else will, and they may not share your values. So head to the clerk's office and let's get to work. MADVOTERS' mission is to empower everyday Hoosiers like you to take the next steps in becoming civically engaged. We appreciate you.